I'm gonna ramble. I'm gonna try and shorten 12 minutes down to a minute 30. Journeys, that I've been on that I don't ever talk about, and how transformative it was. And when you're doing it solo, what happens to you. I am like 5 days away from 1 year when I left to go to Spain. I was at my acupuncturist, and his wife was talking to me about, have we ever traveled out of the country? And I was like, Errol said, no, she hasn't, but I have. And she said, well, you really went. And I told her, she goes, you did that? And I was like, yeah, I did the Camino. And she wanted to know more about it. And I think about how I can talk on and on and on about the Camino, but I don't. I don't want people to think I'm bragging. And I look back and I think, a year ago, if I was in this place right now, in this mind space, this place, where would I be now? 1 year later. I think about when I got back from the Camino, and I was walking, I was trying to do as much, but there wasn't walking trails here where I live. You can get run over, even the bridges and the crosswalks, nothing really works over here. There was a lot of things that just kind of fell off. I started getting really, really depressed. There was a lot of things that I loved doing that I couldn't do anymore. And the weather was crazy. It was like I couldn't go outside. And then I had changed so much. I had changed so much from being gone and then coming back. I wasn't the same person anymore. And the people that I knew, that I talked to, that I hung out with, even clients that I had prior to leaving, it didn't feel right anymore. Like I had changed. And I didn't know how to keep moving forward through these changes. I didn't want to integrate my new self into my old life. I wanted to live my life where I was at. And it was a struggle. And I could see things that were happening around me, to people or in my life, but I was very silent about it. I just wasn't saying things because on the Camino, there's a part of the walk that you are in your headspace. But I had released so much along the way on the Camino. It's crazy when I look back. And that was a time when I really struggled to even journal. Even I was just thinking about it, my throat just gets blocked. And so I know it's something I have to share. I drew a lot when I was on the beaches of Portugal. I bought new colored pencils for the first time. I have so many colored pencils, but I don't use them. So much art stuff, literally so much art stuff. I don't use it here. I don't. I don't do, when I got back though, I was doing art. I feel like, when Georgia O'Keeffe, when she was living in the city, and I said all her work was very gray and dark, and the cityscapes, it looked like death. And then she moved out to the desert, and the colors and the flowers, and even you could see in some of the flowers is a very sensual, it kind of represents women, and it just, they felt alive. Her work transformed because of where she was at. And I didn't realize that's what happened. I felt like I was being born and going through all these stages on the Camino, and then ending up on the beaches of Portugal and feeling bathed in the ocean, and how terrified I feel like I lived a full life there, like one whole lifetime. And then I came back here and this was death. And now here I am almost a year later, full circle, understanding it. I don't know how many people leave their life to go and do the Camino and then come back and everything's different. Everything's different. This is like 12-minute video and I've got to make it down to a minute and 30 seconds to put on a reel. Anyway.